for these two, so as the bot has decided for them. And we're on our way. We're both starting there in the house, so we're going to see a good start here. So we'll be switching over to our regular screen in just a moment here. Apologies for any delays on that, but we'll be able to kind of watch and figure out what's going on here.
There we go.
There we go. And Uncle Assured Sword. There we go, right off the bat. So, of course, there's a lamp. Wait a minute. What is this? Is this vanilla? French vanilla?
So far.
And we're getting a save request here from Shady. Gonna be probably going now to do Sanctuary, I assume? Yep.
SuperNin is going to head into Escape, so yeah, we got some divergence right away within the first minute.
And it pays off for Shady because that's the flute in the Sanctuary chest. That's a good find. Gonna be easy to route that in here, Kakariko.
But he's first going to come over and looks like do a hula-hand.
I think so, yeah. I think this is a hula hand. A little hard to see here only because Shady is using the invisible Link sprite. So you can see the shadow. And that's about it. And the outline when Link jumps into the water. So it's one of the about 130 or so sprites that we have in the game. And SuperNinTaylor with the Rainbow Link as well. And indeed, Shady doing a hula hand here.
Yeah. Dirty one. No, this is not the tiebreaker. There is a tiebreaker tomorrow. This game is just a regular group match.
Indeed. Tomorrow's game at 1:30 between Purity Wong and I Am the Schwartz is going to be the tiebreaker for the final spot in the bracket stage here. Now, of course, these two are in Group K right now, 3rd and 4th in the group. Gem and Miken's box have already gone through as the 2 qualifiers, so this is just the last match in that group, and I'd be happy to bring it to you here on the stream.
Well, we got shadyforce doing the South Kakariko route, farming up bombs from those bomb bushes.
Indeed. And of course, our runners doing this today for you because they love doing this stuff, and it's good entertainment. So definitely cheer on both Shady and Taylor. 100 rupees in the Zelda chest, yeah.
Shadyforce going to check some of these houses you don't normally see because in Retro you have, I believe it's 4 or is it 5 random single entrance caves are converted to take any caves. Right. So one of them will have a sword, and the other ones will have an option between a heart container or a blue potion refill.
Yes, indeed. And I think, yeah, chat is seeing what I saw there on the bookshelf in the library. The flippers are up there, so if we're going to be flipper locked out of anything, then we're going to need the boots. And there's one of those take any room.
Yeah, Shadyforce obviously going to take full heart since he doesn't have any bottles anyway.
Absolutely. It's usually probably a good thing to get anyways. Always nice to get a heart, especially early on here.
Just $50 on the lumberjack ledge, so don't need to worry about that.
Absolutely. And Taylor picking up the Cane of Berna as well, doing the Zelda rescue, so that may be helpful. Now, one of the things, of course, to keep in mind here with as we see the tavern, it's going to be just a big 20, and mushroom spots, only a piece of heart. But one of the things to keep in mind with the take any rooms is they appear in locations that are otherwise empty locations, or not useful locations, I guess you can say, in the vanilla version of the game. And of course, we can buy keys too. That's another important thing.
As well as that wooden arrow upgrade. which I think there's still a bug in this version that lets you fire shots without buying that, but I think that will be fixed for version 31 of the logic. So you will eventually have to buy those in order to fire your bow.
Yes, there is kind of a bug where you can get that to fire without having to buy the arrows, and they're aware of it and they're fixing it for the next iteration.
SuperNinTaylor going to activate his flute as ShadyForce gets the cape from the bottle vendor.
He's he's a cape vendor today.
Yeah.
Going down to Blind's basement now, we'll see what 5 items we have down here in these chests. And we've got a piece of heart, 20 rupees, bombs, and 50 rupees, and then whatever's in the bombable room back here. And just a big 20. We have a question in chat from Glass Nova asking, what were the vetoes for this game from our runners? Shady vetoed Swordless, and NinTaylor vetoed Randomizer. So the game decided to be kind of kind to them and not give them Key Sanity. Give them Retro instead.
This is all dungeons, by the way, so these runners probably won't give us a map check anytime soon, or maybe not at all.
Good point. They may not do that at all, and we may just have to kind of figure it out from watching very closely in process of elimination.
ShadyForce going to head up to the Lost Woods now.
Yep, kind of in that early game phase, usually idiom, where we see the runners essentially backtrack once, over each other's paths, where one will do one thing and then the other will do another thing as the other runner does the first thing that the other runner did. So not uncommon to kind of see the same things here over and over again at the start.
Shula Rune asks, does the retro logic account for where the keys are? Do you know that offhand? I think they don't, because
I don't think they do.
Yeah, I think it's assumed that you can always farm up enough rupees to buy all the keys you need.
Right. I think that's the same thing with the as it is with the Zora check in the regular rando. It just assumes that you will farm up whatever rupees you need to be able to buy a key if you get locked out. And it always assumes you have the keys to do it.
Yeah, so, I mean, there are a few spots in the game where you can farm up rupees. Obviously, there's the Houlihan, which you can only do once. There's a couple of rocks once you get the glove that you can lift up, and there's some rupees inside. And there's also the archery game in the Dark World south of the Village of Outcasts, which I think is probably the fastest way to get rupees.
I think so, yes. And of course, Shady finding with that first check there, the blue male, beautifully showing it off with that sprite in the swamp area.
ShadyForce going to show us what's in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Bombs and rupees so far. Let's see what's in these last two chests. More rupees. And the Cane of Samaria. So ultimately, it turns out to be good at the end.
Yep. Another thing I'd like to point out, Aga right now is completely unlogic.
And of course, since it's all dungeons, we have to go complete AGA 1 at some time.
Yeah, and we haven't got a glove, hammer, or moon pearl, so it feels somewhat likely to me that we might have to do an early AGA.
Entirely possible. We'll have to see as we go. Probably go into Eastern, and we'll very likely see Eastern and Death Mountain plays first, and then maybe a check into Desert. And if all of those kind of turn up to be nothing, then we'll probably see them go to AGA after that.
Yeah, normally you like to at least try to find the moon pearl, since you don't necessarily want to gamble on it being on the ledge. But at the same time, since you have to do AGA eventually anyway, I think you might see these runners go there sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. Now, ideally, the prime AGA 1 fight is right after you've done AGA 2. You get the mirror, and you mirror back into the light world and go do that, and then you go back and do Ganon immediately after. But, of course, that is only if it is not AGA required to get to the Dark World. And we will see as our runners complete these checks if we have enough stuff to be able to get to the Dark World without having to go to AGA.
So we're starting to run out of spots for progression. Really just the eastern area is the only major item area we haven't seen yet. Shadyforce gotta be real careful here on 1 heart.
And he's on half a heart, actually, so very, very scary times up here walking through the cabbages. And with the new hint tiles that have showed up in V30, I've mentioned a couple of races I've called recently, but seeing a lot of changes here to the pathing, like especially at Spectacle Rock right here on the inside. There's that hint there, so we're seeing a lot of people just go blind check this now, and then you get the hint. Unique items in the sewers, so we'll want to head there.
Yeah, so they can get in there with the lamp. I believe that we did see the key in the front. Well, not that it matters since the keys are all generic.
Absolutely. And that is something to keep in mind with retro mode too, is that keys are universal. You can use them to open any door in any dungeon, which is both good and bad.
Shadyforce gonna pick up some more keys. Never hurts to stock up early.
And also, just a quick aside here for those wondering about the series between these two runners, they've split it. They've each won 1 game, so this is also for bragging rights, just between the two of them. Who's gonna win the internal series here? Who's gonna go 2-1? Is it gonna be Shady or is it gonna be SuperNinTaylor?
Looks like Shadyforce is going to head towards escape.
I think so. With that hint, probably going to make the assumption that there's a unique item they may want to go grab.
So my guess is he's going to clear out escape and the sewers. And if he doesn't find any significant progression, he'll probably just go do AGA.
Could certainly be the case here. But then Taylor's actually going to make the run to the back first, having already gone and completed the escape portion.
First chest in the dark, just a map.
So that means our quote-unquote unique item is going to be in the back 3 chests here. And I believe, yeah, we had a red rupee that was in Nice Rod Cave. I had a question in chat about that. And Cypher asking, with retro mode, it also means dungeons will have more chances for items. I believe so. Because we may have some keys mixing up, yeah.
Yeah, the dungeons that have the most keys gain the most value. So Pod with 6 keys, those all become items. So Pod now has 11 items.
Indeed, and the Quake was the unique item in the back of the sewers there. And Shady does a death warp to get back to the front.
Okay, SuperNinTaylor not going to do Aga just yet. He wants to check out the desert area.
Can't blame him. This is usually a good check here with the Gina's cave and whatnot. Bomb check up on the ledge. Yeah, we'll see what's in the Gina here.
Let's see, what other dungeons gain a lot of value? Mire goes from 2 items up to 5. And Ice Palace goes from 3 up to 6, I believe.
I believe so. And of course, the Aga chest, too.
Yeah, those become items as well, just like in Key Sanity.
Yep, I've seen that. I've seen that hurt people pretty bad in races where they forget to check that location, and all of a sudden there's a go mode item hiding out there.
Yeah,
and
that's
just, yeah.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the key modes, it can be very easy to forget that.
You didn't had a couple of questions. People asking, where's Shady spread out? How can I see it? Shady's playing as Invisible Link, so all we've got is the shadow, the true Shadow Link.
SuperNinTaylor gonna check out Sahasrara.
Yeah, probably gonna check Sahasrara, maybe the first half of Eastern Palace, and we'll see here if we find anything that gives us progression. If not, it might be Aga time, because we're getting pretty close to having cleared all of the checkable locations right now.
Alright, so SuperNin is going to go into Eastern. And ShadyForce is going to make the Aga play now.
Interesting decision here. Just the difference of routing. Not a bad decision by any means. We're gonna have to go through all of the dungeons, so both runners will be going to Aga at some point. Just maybe thinking that on Shady's side, perhaps thinking that maybe they want to go ahead and do Eastern Palace once they have a bit more equipment. Can't say that's a bad decision at all. Maybe you want to do a full clear in one go.
Yeah, certainly the gamble for NinTaylor is, I mean, if you don't find anything in Eastern, then you've just double dipped it. But there's a mirror for ShadyForce.
That's a good find for Shady. And we were talking about that just a little bit ago. Important items can indeed show up in Aga Tower now, so we may see yet another one here.
It's just a key. But ShadyForce is already here, so you might as well finish it off.
Might as well, and having that mirror will be nice because he can mirror immediately back to the light world.
Yeah.
It's going to open up a little bit of progression. I think it's going to open up Tower of Hera now, so Shady will be able to go back up to Death Mountain and check a few more locations. Ooh, and a troll hint in Eastern Palace there for NinTaylor. The green hint tile hints are troll hints, and there's a compass.
Another troll hint for shadyforce. Shadyforce down to 1.5 hearts. Aga Tower is not a place you really want to take a death.
No, because you gotta have to go all the way back down and do it again. But there are some hearts here, down to 1 heart. I use those pots, I think, to kind of try and make this quicker.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, then Taylor gonna open this final pot in Eastern Palace and find 10 bombs, so...
Eastern not paying off.
Nope.
Looks like Aga really the only play here. Unless he wants to maybe fake Flipper and check some Flipper spots, but they don't even have the Moon Pearl, so they can't check the Waterfall Cave.
Right, so I think it's probably just, I assume we'll see SuperNinTaylor grow up here and go into Aga as well, that this was the play to make. And Shady with a slight advantage with us knowing that. Oh, what is... Taylor's thinking something. He's got his flute out.
Yeah, I think he was trying to maybe think if he had missed any locations, but ultimately he decides no.
Meanwhile, Shady dealing with Aga getting 2 fireballs to start with. See how many blue balls he gets. There's 1.
I was pointing out SuperNinTaylor just having 1 key. He will find another one here, luckily, but there was no guarantee of that.
Absolutely not. He's going to make a bit of a... What in his mind is going to be a bit of a risk here and go in with 1 key. But he'll get that second one, so it'll be the right decision. I guess being a little bit of a pain.
SuperNinTaylor was about to save and quit because he doesn't have any more keys, but he decides to check this last chest. So he'll be happy to see that.
Indeed.
Just a little spin. And shadyforce takes down Aga.
Absolutely. And now we get to see the amazing bunny sprite for Shady Sprite, which is so great we can't even picture it. And there's a key hiding out on the ledge here.
Alright, so looks like the next play will be up towards Tower of Hera. Can't really think of anywhere else to go. shadyforce decides, oh, he's gonna, I don't think he ever checks the house really, actually.
No, he did not make his way over here to the Eastern Palace side of things. So Delta Quebec asking again about what retro mode is. We'll be happy to explain it. Not a problem. But retro mode makes the randomizer a little bit more like Zelda 1 in that there's a couple of changes, and we haven't really talked about the arrows cost rupees thing yet because we don't have the bow, but we should probably talk about that as well. So just to kind of go over some of the retro mode changes here. The bow, technically you're supposed to have to buy the arrows before you can shoot them with the bow, but there's a bit of a bug right now that's allowing that to not happen. It'll be fixed in the next version. The keys that you find in dungeons and elsewhere are actually universal keys, like in the first Zelda game, so that means they can open any of the locked doors, which is both good and bad. The good thing is that if you run out of keys, you can go to a shop and buy new keys for 100 rupees each. And let me see what else if I can remember here. So we talked about the arrows.
Yeah, those are the two major changes. There's also the take any caves. So you have 5 random caves selected. One of them will have a sword. So like the guy in the first Zelda game where he says it's dangerous to go alone. There'll be one cave with a sword upgrade. And 4 of the caves will have a choice between a heart container or a blue potion refill.
Indeed.
Yeah, you might see these runners stop into random caves just checking to see which one has, to see if any of them have take any caves in them.
And Hagmania asking, does the sword and the take any replace 1 in logic? Absolutely. It is one of the 4 locations where you can get a sword upgrade. So it will replace one of the ones that would normally be there in logic.
Yeah, so I think those are sort of the 3 major changes. I'm not sure, I can't remember if there's anything else.
Yeah, as far as the arrow of cost goes, we mentioned that arrows cost rupees to fire. It's 50 for the silvers. Each silver arrow costs 50 rupees. And there's also I also need to talk about the silver arrows themselves. But each silver arrow costs 50 rupees, and each, I believe, regular one costs 10. Additionally, silvers only work against Ganon. They don't work for any of the other bosses or enemies.
I thought that was only in hard mode.
Oh, is that hard mode? Oh yeah, we're playing normal mode. Yep.
Yeah, so silvers can work anywhere, but at 50 arrows or 50 rupees a pop, I don't think they'll be using them too much.
Probably not. I think we'll see. We'll kind of see them conserve that. I'm so used to doing this hard mode retro. So
yeah, we've seen a lot of hard retros. And SuperNinTaylor gonna make the play up to Hera now, as is shadyforce. So I think these runners have both done the exact same things now, just in slightly different orders.
Yep.
We've got a big key in the basement.
Indeed. And Lucius is asking what the stakes are in this race. It's pretty much just for fun and for bragging rights between these two. They're 1-1 in their set matchup here. 3rd and 4th overall. There's the Moon Pearl. Nice find for SuperNinTaylor, and Shady will be up there as well to get that. But yeah, Group K, which both Shady and Nintaylor are in. The top 2 have already been decided. It's going to be Gem, who I think is 14-1, and I believe, if I remember right, Mikan's box is 10-5. So yeah, records wise, neither Shady nor Nintaylor can catch that. And I think too that there's a bit of a gap between them. I think, what is it? Let me take a look here at the standings. Yeah, there's a 2-game gap between them. So Nintaylor will be 3rd and Shady will be 4th in the group. But this is kind of who wins their best of 3 series.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we just found a hint in Hera that the fire rod is in Misery Mire, so that's a pretty good hint.
That's a very good hint. You always want to know where that fire rod is if you can find it, especially in all dungeons where it's going to be required for multiple dungeons to get into.
Yep. Alright, SuperNinTaylor is going to take on Moldorm. Ooh, almost fell down that two-story drop hole.
The troll hole.
Troll hole.
That's Oh, and Nintaylor getting bonked off by Moldorm. Yeah, you don't want to fall down that one. That's the one you fall down, and there's a hole here on floor 5F that you also will fall through, and you'll be back down to 4F.
Oh, and Nintaylor getting bumped off again.
boy, we're at 148 sprites. I've always been thinking it's 130 plus, and it's like 148. Wow. So
yeah, there's
quite
a ton
bit
of them now.
And getting to do the vanilla fight here with just the fighter sword.
Yeah.
Miyamoto would be very proud doing this the intended way, not with a bunch of OP stuff.
And then Taylor takes down Moldor.
And Shady does as well, so we're pretty much caught up here. And it's a crystal.
Well, we found the Moon Pearl, I guess. But that doesn't open up a whole lot just yet. Maybe pod, like a couple chests there. But we don't even have gloves.
Nope.
So there is the basement of here. I'm not sure if we got both the map and compass. And Nintaylor's not going back in.
I love Willard's comment. Cape Strat's very smart. They're talking about Shady. How do you get those permanent Cape Strats? One thing that is open now is we do have all of the Dark Worlds now open.
Well, not that much of it.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
You need
pod.
the hook shot.
Yeah, pod's open.
Or
That's
the
about
hammer.
it.
Yeah, there's really just pod.
I wonder if that's what Nintaylor is doing here. Is he's getting the keys first?
Whoa.
Whoa!
Okay, he's got a...
Nintaylor, what did you do?
Before. Yeah, this... I've seen this happen before. This, who was the other person this happened to? I think it was Ack the Boker. So what's going on here is they're playing on a certain console that has some sort of a graphical glitch that very rarely happens. And you can mirror. I think that gets rid of the glitch, or you can just save and quit. Yeah, that's
Nintaylor was gonna save and quit anyways, I think.
Yeah, I just wanted to stock up on some keys.
Yeah, he's got 5, so I think, yeah, Shady's already making the play of the pod, and I believe Nintaylor will be shortly thereafter.
So, there's only one chest. Well, actually, never mind. You can't be locked in pod, it's retro. So, they can check actually quite a bit of pod. Yeah, I was thinking I have to worry about being bow locked. Alright, so yeah, we can check everything here except the big chest, Helmosaur, and the 2 chests on the Bowlock side. So there's actually, yeah, quite a bit of chests we can open up.
Yeah, because we don't have that bottle yet to do the bottle glitch. There's the hook shot, though.
Alright, that opens up a lot of stuff on East Death Mountain.
Yeah, that will certainly help out quite a bit.
I think Shadyforce was about to do the bottle glitch and then forgot I didn't have a bottle.
Yep. Always the most important thing to remember to bring with you when you can do a bottle glitch is bottle.
Yeah, that's right in the name of it. Oh, there's a big key, so you can actually check the big chest.
Shady with those dodging skills on that Helmosaur. Piece of heart.
I imagine they'll pick up all of these rupees, since rupees are so valuable in Retro. There's a glove. Alright, so starting to get some progression here. That glove gives us... What does it give us? It doesn't give us a ton right now, but it is one piece to full Dark World access, if we can find a hammer or another glove.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't give us a whole heck of a lot, but it can certainly help out.
And shadyforce going to do a hammer jump here. This is one of the more difficult bomb jumps in the game, but it's pretty valuable in Retro and Key Sanity because it allows you to get the 3 chests here without using a key. shadyforce pulls it off no problem. Alright, so that's all he can check in there. So we did get our gloves and a hook shot. And he's not save and quitting, so maybe he's going to go check Catfish Zora.
Certainly could be a possibility.
Although, actually, he could save and quit, and he'll just be brought back to the pyramid because they've defeated Aga. Oh yes, and chat reminds me, the hookshot actually gives us access to the west side of Dark World. I almost forgot about that. Well, the combination of the hookshot and the glove. And shadyforce gonna check out Graveyard Ledge. And NinTaylor right behind him.
Be very helpful. We have a couple of locations that are very difficult to route in sometimes, and Graveyard Ledge is one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those locations you often get a hint for just because it's so out of the way. And NinTaylor going to a different out-of-the-way location, actually, Catfish. And shadyforce gonna make his way over to Village of Outcasts area. Gonna check Bumper Ledge first.
Not a bad decision here. Getting some of these checks in. You've got the... It's a key, so I'll probably skip it. But you've got the cape already, so you can go ahead and do this.
He could get it.
The cape and glove. Yeah.
At this point, it's basically like 100 rupees. Probably not worth the time, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to do for one key.
So Skullwoods, I believe, goes from 2 items up to 5 items, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it 4 items?
I think it's 4 because one of them is... One of those chests is always going to be a key because simply...
Yeah,
that room
that's
right. It's always programmed because that room's a lock otherwise.
Yeah, you're right. It's 4, and the bow is one of them.
Hello.
All right, now we get to see what the bow is all about in retro. So that bow costs 10 rupees a piece for each shot. And they're supposed to have bought the wooden arrows, but I imagine they might just skip that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Our tracker pointing out Shady already bought the arrows. Yeah, it does have that arrow icon at the top, so you can see that. SuperNinTaylor is deciding to go and get that key.
And Taylor really wants to save that $100.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether this is worth it or not, because I haven't played a lot of retro. But I mean, rupees are much more valuable in this mode. Okay, shadyforce now coming down into Village of Outcasts.
Making the trip to the C-shaped house. Getting 20 rupees out.
Just a piece of heart from the chess game, but we do get $50 as the first item there. So we still make a profit.
And the red meringue in the brewery. So everyone's
Best-
favorite item.
The best boomerang. For some reason, the devs call the blue one the best. I think they screwed that up.
Yeah, they might have, but it's okay. We forgive them.
There's our Titansmith. All right, first chest in Thieves Town.
Very nice find.
So that opens up all kinds of stuff on Death Mountain. It opens up that Misery Mire area, so we can go get the Fire Rod. Although we still don't know if we can get into Mire. And of course, it gives us much more convenient Dark World access now.
Absolutely, we've got Dark World access all over the place. At least a couple locations. Maybe not immediately, you know, without the hammer for Swamp and Palace of Darkness areas, but we're getting closer. We're getting really closer.
Yep. So is shadyforce going to go to the back of Thieves Town without the hammer? Yes, he is. It's a bit of a gamble because you do have to leave that big chest behind, but I mean, it is only one item.
Yeah, I think it's just a calculated gamble here.
Shadyforce going to come up here and check this hint. Some bombs in a chest requiring a specialist to unlock. So that's a purple chest, so we know we can skip that. Alright, so what do we have in the attic?
Hopefully Shady remembers to have to get the bomb out, so not making a mistake that I've seen made before and that I made in a practice suit once where I checked this chest, getting the bloomerang, and then walked out and forgot to do the bomb.
Yeah. When V30 first came out, sometimes I'd go up and check that hint and then just go straight downstairs because I wasn't used to going up and down twice there. Just kind of muscle memory. We also got the bloomerang, so the second best boomerang, as I like to call it. Yeah, so far, I mean, this seed has been pretty linear. Both runners have not really had any reason to diverge too much.
No, they haven't. It's been pretty much point and shoot at this point. Almost like a point and shoot. You see the thing, you take a picture of the thing. In this case, you see the item, you go where it tells you to go, and it gives you the next item.
Alright, shadyforce gonna take on blind now. SuperNinTaylor opting to skip the back of Thieves' Town. Finds the silver arrows. Gonna continue digging for rupees as shadyforce finishes blind. I don't think he took any damage there.
No, I don't think so. I think he's got everything under control, and it's green pendant, so that's another item.
Yep. And SuperNinTaylor gonna farm up some rupees from the arrow game. I think this is a good play. You're probably gonna want to farm up rupees at some point anyway, so might as well get it out of the way now. So I think generally for this you want to press your Y button as soon as the target passes through the middle of the second curtain. That's the cue I usually use. And if you hit all 5 shots, you get, I think it's around 105, 110 rupees profit.
Yeah, because you tend to make back from the first 3 shots. You tend to make back what you spent plus a little bit of interest. So then the 32 and 64 shots would be almost 100 by themselves that you would just kind of get free money for.
Yeah. And now both runners gonna do the Smith stuff. And we got a bug net.
Well, gosh, we was probably supposed to come here before we went and fought Aga 1.
Our tracker link 40 is just on the math. It's 104 rupees profit each time if you get a perfect 5 hits.
Indeed. Thank you very much for that, Link. Always good to know.
Shady4 says, hey, might as well pick up that 20 bucks. It's 1/5 of a key, so
It's free money too, you might as well.
Ooh, did Shadyforce? Oh, right, Shadyforce got that hint. NinTaylor never went to the back of Thieves Town, so doesn't know that he's just going to get some bombs out of that.
Right, so it's interesting. Let's see what happens when you don't get that hint sometimes is you end up making a check that you don't need to make.
Shadyforce is going to check out Hype Cave. Are we going to have any hype today? $5.
$5 so far. Let's see what we got at Edium. Ooh, Book Medora will get you into Desert Palace.
Book and a couple of keys. That's not too bad, I guess. Certainly seen worse hype caves.
And we at least got something of value that opens up something else.
Yeah, and they can go down and check this Bombos tablet right away.
Right, actually that's the
and
more
right
important
in
thing.
The desert, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the more important one. Actually getting a check here from SuperNinTaylor. Misery Mire is going to be a blue pendant. Yeah, but most importantly, I think the thing here is getting the check-in for the tablet.
Yeah.
Because we did have...
Yeah, we already had Desert Exit. So that tablet, just a small key, so nothing too serious to worry about.
We are going to go check out what's in here. In the Mire Shed, probably Graveyard Ledge, Checkerboard Cave. And it is Quake. We have that.
Yeah, we do. So we actually... I believe we can actually full clear Mire if we really wanted to. Although with Fighter Sword and no hammer, that's not an easy task.
We do have red mail though. Shady found it in the Mire Shed, and then Taylor will grab it shortly. And Shady, of course, having the same problem that all runners have when leaving that Mire Shed sometimes, is that you step forward and try to make a left, and you catch the water and floop.
Alright, so Shadyforce is going to go into Mire.
With that beautiful red mail spread as well.
So there are 5 item locations in Mire instead of 2. Nintendo's going to check the Checkerboard Cave first. Just a piece of heart. But it looks like he's gonna make the... Oh no, maybe he's gonna go to Desert first. Alright, so we finally got some diversions here. Well, I did not see what was on the ledge there, but he's not going back for it, so... Can't be much. So in Retro, Desert will only be boots locked if the big key specifically is on the torch. Which it is not, so he can... The boots are in Misery Mire.
Ooh,
wow.
So boots and fire rod.
And there they are right there.
And yeah.
Alright, Mire with quite a bit of value today.
And will unlock the flippers, which are hanging out in the library bookshelf, so we'll have additional access now.
Yeah, we're starting to really find a lot of items.
That's kind of the thing, idiom, is that we have situations where if the seed is very item dry at the start, you know it's going to be more item dense later on because you're starting to clear out a lot of the junk.
Yeah.
Versus having a lot of items at the start means you're probably going to have a period where it gets a little dry toward the middle.
Yeah, for sure. And Taylor going to check out the big chest of desert, while ShadyForce does the cutscene room.
Chat now having a bit of a discussion about the flavor text and the fact that you only get one boot, which is true. You do only technically get one boot. You have to find the other boot somewhere in the world. No, I'm kidding.
I think it's just that you see them from the side, so you don't see the second boot. The hammer requires the hook shot. Okay, so that could be Hookshot Cave, or it could be the back of Swamp.
Actually, no, it can't be the back of Swamp. You need the hammer to get into there.
Yeah. Pretty much just Hookshot Cave, and is there anything else?
It could really be anywhere on East Death Mountain. If the hammer's locked behind hookshot access, you need the hookshot to get over to East Death Mountain.
Yeah, but hints don't work that way. They only, yeah, they only refer to places where you always need the hookshot.
That's
so
yeah,
I think
Hookshot Cave.
I think that has to be in Hookshot Cave.
Serious business. Hammer being in the final chest. There's the fire rod in the big chest. I think it's not going to be there. It's the hunch.
So that leaves us really with just an ice rod and possibly a turtle rock medallion. I think we know where everything else is.
Yep. Yeah, that ice rod's going to be a pain in the butt to find, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It always is.
Alright, ShadyForce going to take on Vitreous. I'm going to guess he's going to use his silver arrows here, even though it's going to cost a lot of money. It doesn't really have... I may just use the regular arrows, even. ShadyForce trying to do the spooky action glitch, but wasn't able to get it. So he's just going to give up and do it the normal way.
Use the slightly less spooky action glitch. Yeah, I'm thinking about this too. Since we got boots in Misery Mire, I don't think we had spooky action glitch as a possibility. I think he was just trying to use the fire rod to trip the switch.
Yeah, I don't think you can hit it from there though.
Yeah, maybe just thought for a moment that you could, which.
So he is going to go ahead and use the silver arrow, so that's going to cost a lot of money, but gets it done pretty quickly anyway. Excalibur asking, what is the spooky action glitch? There is a glitch you can do with, you have to have the flute and the boots and the fire rod, but you can use it to flip some of those switches in Mire without actually hitting the switch. So if you do it correctly, it saves a bit of time, but it's not like a huge time save. It's more just It's almost more just for swag, really. I think it maybe saves you 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, it saves you a bit of time. It saves you the time that you would normally go through having to bomb open the wall, flip the switch, and walk back out.
Yes, it's one of those glitches you learn if you're like an advanced runner and you're looking to shave seconds off your time. I wouldn't recommend worrying about it for, beginners.
Yeah, it's kind of like hovering in that sense, where it's like, yeah, it's cool to do, but when you're starting out, you don't really need to focus on learning how to hover and do spooky action glitch so much as just trying to learn the routing, learn the logic.
Yeah.
Work on your mechanics with the vanilla game first, and then worry about the glitches.
Yeah. Now let's see how NinTaylor opts to take on Vitreous. We could use the silvers or just use the wooden arrows. And he's going to try to hover this gap.
Ooh,
and he makes
got it. He's got it. Nicely done.
Yeah, I don't think he even really saved time there, since normally you just fall down the pit and you'd be right back on the other bridge. But and it's a race where the result isn't really that important, so
we can have a little fun.
Yeah.
I think he too was trying to shoot across the gap there. It didn't quite.
NinTaylor using a different setup for the spooky action glitch where you throw the Samaria block into the pit. I don't know exactly how this one works, but he's going to try it. Doesn't get it.
It didn't get it.
I was just going to give up and bomb it.
You might as well, because by the time you have to set the second one up like that, you've probably already lost the 10 seconds you would have gained, so you may as well just go ahead and do it the normal way. So we're going to be at a very interesting point here in just a moment as NinTaylor goes into one fight, and Shady's going to be in the other one shortly thereafter. And NinTaylor also using the silvers.
Yeah, so both players using most of their cash.
Yeah, we're going to be idiom at 1 hour, just over an hour, hour and 3, and we're going to have both runners essentially about the same spot. No one's really got a huge advantage.
Yeah, this is a really close race so far. And I think you kind of see that in all dungeons, since you have to do all the dungeons anyway, there's not as much opportunity for big gambles.
Right. There's not as much of a opportunity to have a big breakaway where you skip like going through 2 dungeons and turns out you make the right play and save 10 minutes.
Yeah. Alright, and Taylor's gonna pick up his flippers. So where's he gonna head to next? I'm gonna guess Death Mountain. No.
Oh, he's gonna go. Oh, is he thinking flippers? He's gonna go to do Ice Palace?
Well, he hasn't got the hammer, so.
Oh, he's doing checks, maybe.
Yeah, I might just be doing some overworld things. Oh, he's grabbing keys and. But he doesn't have money.
He's 5 rupees short.
Okay, now he's going to Death Mountain. Alright, so Shadyforce checked that hint about the hammer, so he knows he's going to get the hammer up here. NinTaylor, I assume, will get it, even though he doesn't know it.
Yeah, he's gonna luck into not to getting it regardless, because I assume we're gonna get a check of Super Money Cave. We'll get a. Oh, he's gonna do the efficient route here through Paradox, and then
yeah, all kinds
back
of
to the Dark
items
World.
here. Half magic. That is always a nice find. Both runners basically screen for screen.
So really, looking at this point, the only real difference between our runners as far as what they have and what they've completed is Shady having Thieves Town done, and then Taylor having at least half of it done, but not the whole thing yet. Hasn't picked up that pendant after the blind fight.
Yeah.
So I would say with that, that'd be slight advantage at the moment to Shady, just for having that extra dungeon completed. But still pretty close.
We see a bottle on the floating island. Surprisingly, that's the first bottle we've seen. An hour and 6 minutes in.
Yeah, there's a sick kid checking there somewhere. And Taylor going and doing Spiral Cave first, looks like.
Shadyforce was trying to go in the Turtle Rock portal and remembers he didn't get the hammer yet.
It's like, yeah, you gotta go back down and get the Dark World check. And then Taylor routing back around to get to the portal and get back to the Dark World here for Super Bunny Cave, and I assume this is going to be Hookshot Cave after that, so he'll get the hammer, he'll luck out a little bit here.
Yeah, and we should find out shortly what the Turtle Rock medallion is. Oh, there's another bottle.
And just a real quick reminder here, both follow Shadyforce and SuperNinTaylor. Both are pretty well-known names here within the rando community, pretty good runners, so we're putting on a great show for you today, guys. This is a match that it's pretty much just for bragging rights, but still taking it very seriously and having some fun with it. So give them both a follow.
Yeah, and by the way, we saw Ether is required for Turtle Rock. And there's our hammer.
Absolutely, and Taylor getting it first, and Shady will have it in just a moment here. It's in the last chest.
All right, so we need the ice rod, we need ether, and we need to find one more sword upgrade at least.
That we do. Finding that take any sword right now would be a huge benefit for whoever finds.
NinTaylor is gonna do Spike Cave. Shadyforce is gonna skip this. So if there's something important here, this could be pretty big for NinTaylor.
We're gonna get a sick kid check though. Small child had a piece of heart.
And 50 rupees. In Spike Cave, so nothing important at either of those checks. And Shadyforce remembering to come grab the flippers here. NinTaylor, I think, is going to come up and check the ether tablet and possibly the basement of Hera. Or no, that had a compass, I think, or something.
Rupee Horde. Heck yeah.
Unfortunately, you can't quite get it without a Master Sword. And shadyforce is going to head back into pod. So there's still a couple of items and a boss to do here. So Astral having a key for us. I think this is kind of the first point of divergence now. We've seen NinTaylor's going to head back to Village of Outcasts, maybe finish off Thieves Town with the hammer. The shadyforce already did Thieves Town. I don't remember if he got both the map and compass or not, but if there is something in that big chest, again, that's another thing that could throw things in NinTaylor's favor.
Absolutely.
We got a key and just a compass, so nothing too important on the Bullock side. So now the question is, what do we see here from our runners? Do we see somebody make a decision to go to a dungeon that is open, but maybe not very very open as far as there's the compass? So we're asking the question, and I don't think we saw the map yet. Yeah, but the question is, do we see someone go into ice instead of going into some, say, swamp? There's the map. Yeah.
So yeah, if Shady has counted items correctly, and Thieves Town knows that he won't have to go back into that for anything. Dinosaur King has gone down, and what do we got here? Just a big 5. Well, my esteemed partner, we got pod done. Now, if we're thinking where to go next to look for an item, obviously we can't go into Turtle Rock. We have Eastern Palace as a play. Maybe we see Shady go ahead and mirror back and complete that. Yeah, we are going to see that effect. That's a good decision, but where do we go after that? We got Swamp Palace, Skull Woods, Ice Palace, all kind of hanging in the balance here.
I think I'd go to Ice. There's let's see, there's 5 items in retro mode in Ice. as well as 3 hints. So I think that's where I'd go next.
That's not a bad decision. Plus, you kind of have to get all of these out of the way at some point, so that would remove having to worry about Ice Palace, and I guess that's kind of a good one. We've also got the possibility of Skullwoods, maybe hoping that you find 1 or 2 items in there. I would guess, simply by what we've checked in Skullwoods so far versus what's left, that's probably not going to find all of our remaining Go Mode items in Skullwoods. Have a Go Mode Swamp Palace, Ice Palace. We're probably going to have to do a full clear one of those.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard, really, to decide exactly where to look, just because both the items we need are for Turtle Rock, and we don't need them for anywhere else. They can be anywhere except in Turtle Rock.
Right. Actually, the Ice Rod could be in Turtle Rock itself. It could be on as deep as Laser Bridge.
That's true, yeah, actually.
Yeah, so the only thing we know is not in Turtle Rock is Ether Medallion.
And NinTaylor is going to go into Skullwoods.
So really here kind of is our first path divergence. We're seeing Taylor go into Skullwoods to finish this up versus Shady just clearing out the rest of Eastern Palace.
Shady going to use the Cane of Birna here, which
some money,
actually deals with the Armos Knights pretty well, especially with that half magic.
I think a big part of it, yeah, it would eat up all of his money, pretty much, just to go through and do that fight normally. Ooh, we're getting Hammer Mothula. Now, this is going to be interesting. Nicely done.
We get just a map.
That's one of the 5/6 crystals, of course. Ooh, we're getting a pet check. Just couch cash. Well, you know, with this mode, maybe just couch cash might actually be worth going to grab.
Yeah. Yeah, we could even see just a blind pull here from Shadyforce, because he's got all 3 pendants already. And NinTaylor is going to come down here and check this shop. You want to buy some more keys, maybe? Or he's going to buy the arrows. Meanwhile, Shady Force takes on Mothula. Gonna use B strats. Kills him with the B. Nice. Taylor doing some overall checks. We're still looking for that Ice Rod, Ether Medallion, and at least one more sword upgrade. I think we're getting a blind ped pull from Shady Force. So he'll get his little bit of money. And there's the big 20. Alright, NinTaylor is going to come over and he's going to wrap up Pod and Eastern, I assume. NinTaylor gets his key from Sahashala. Well, Shady Force. Where's Shady Force gonna go?
It's a good question here. Obviously, NinTaylor is going to go and finish up the Eastern Palace pod double.
Yeah, I think Shady Force is checking Lumberjack. Don't know if we've seen this.
We have it's 50 rupees, so yeah, not a bad decision. Might as well go get him.
Yeah, he might not have checked it earlier, or maybe he really wants that cash.
I think we missed out on. I think Shady did not check it earlier, but we did see NinTaylor check it, so
Yeah.
He knows it's up there.
Shady Force gonna check some overworld checks. I don't think there was anything of value in these places here. But, yeah, basically Shady Force gonna do these overworld checks. I think he really wants to go mode Swamp and Ice if he can, but I don't think he's gonna be able to.
Yeah, I think probably wants to try and limit number of just stays to check there, simply because those are very just long, arduous dungeons that involve a lot of going up and down, around, all over the place, and their go mode variants are super quick.
Seems like the runners have kind of given up on checking those single entrance caves. Don't know if they've forgotten about them or what, but we definitely have not found that sword upgrade cave.
Yeah, that's kind of the other thing that we're still looking for too. We're gonna need that at some point here.
Yeah, I mean, you can always gamble on there being a sword in GT, but even still, Master Sword is not all that fun. Alright, looks like Shady Force is finally going to make the play towards Swamp Palace. As SuperNinTaylor finishes off Helmosaur.
And we'll, of course, see him go back through here and do the Eastern Palace side of things, as Shady is going to be doing Swamp Palace.
Yes, Swamp Palace will have, I guess, 7 items. Normally has 6, so it's one of those dungeons. It only has 1 small key normally, so it doesn't gain a ton of value, but still 7 items is quite a bit. So cash and a piece of heart requires a big red bomb. So we can skip Pyramid Fairy.
That's another check to take off the table.
We'll get a mushroom in the first chest of Swamp.
Well, I wonder if that's going to be something that leads to one of our items.
Yeah. So that opens up 1 check in Logic and 1 check out of Logic in the Magic Bat, which we can get with the Fake Flipper check.
Right. So, possibility that we could see them go ahead and do the fake powder first on the Magic Bat and then turn that in. Too many fake things in this game.
Yeah. And until you're gonna go do Armos. Wonder how he's gonna tackle them. Will he use the bow? He is gonna use the bow. Oh, he has to use the bow for the red eye goer anyway. There's a big key. And we'll see what we got in the big key chest. 5 rupees. So shadyforce is going to go to the back first. We'll see if he decides to check left side or not afterwards. This is kind of usually the play you want to make, because you can go to the back of Swamp and beat Argus, and then you can check, have you found the map and compass? If you have neither, you know you can skip the left side, and if you have one of them, you know there's 1 item in the left side. It's kind of a gamble whether to skip it or not.
Yeah, it's one of those things too on the left side. Skipping the left side of the Swamp Palace is always a risk, and I've seen it I see it more often than not working in the runner's favor to skip it, but when you are this late in the game and you have so few items, it's really dangerous to try to make that calculated risk.
It's a little faster in Retro because you don't necessarily have to go and get that extra key if you don't want to. You can just flood it.
That's a good point, actually. So you just have to do the you have to flood the left side and walk on through. Hey, here's Argus.
A menu fight. Yeah, Argus with just the fighter sword is not very fun, so normally you're going to use the hammer here.
Of course, it's a slower fight because you have to menu, but at the same time, being able to pull 2 and hammer both of them at the same time is ridiculously fun.
It looks like SuperNinTaylor are going to be following shadyforce into Swamp. One more little puff left.
So far, nothing really in the back end of the swamp that's going to be important.
So we'll see what's on Argus. And we'll see if shadyforce decides to go left side. Oh, we did get that mushroom, though. So that could lead to something.
Right.
And a shovel.
Well, that could lead to something.
Yeah, so we got a couple of fetch quests. Alright, what's Shady gonna do next? He's gonna go back in and he's gonna go left side. I understand this play. You really don't want to leave, go to Ice Palace, then find out you have to come back here anyway, so...
Yep. Want to make the least number of trips into any dungeon as possible. I think we'll see him flood the key.
Yeah. Remembering to flip the switch. It's really annoying when you forget to do that and you get to the vanilla big key chest and you gotta go back. And NaylorTaylor's gonna go left side right away. This way is a little more efficient if you know for sure that you're gonna full clear swamp. Of course, it sucks when you find the map and compass both sitting there and you realize you could have skipped the whole thing.
Bomb's there, so he's going to skip out because he knows what the last one is. He knows it's a dungeon item.
Alright, so where's he gonna go next? He's gonna check the mushroom.
Interesting. Not gonna fake powder here?
I am very surprised he's not gonna fake powder. Because he never save and quit, so
yeah.
He can't just hard reset. Just gonna spend some rupees on a potion. Yeah, I certainly would have gone on fake powder first, but who knows? Okay, shadyforce gonna go into Ice Palace before checking the shovel spot.
I think he's hoping maybe that double item located here. I guess maybe also thinking that, you know, you can go ahead and complete it right now, right?
He's not happy with that hint. So that's why I said to go into ice first, because you get the hints.
That's a great call. Because there are, I think, 3 hints here, right?
Yeah. Alright, so in normally there are 3 items in Ice Palace, but in retro mode there are 5. There's our powder, so a few more rage slashes. Alright,
Those are happy slashes. He's very happy to find the powder. He can now go do the bat.
Yeah, but he could have before.
He's just overjoyed to be able to do it the vanilla way, though.
I guess. Alright, so he's going to drop into the Stalfos room, and we got another hint here. A unique item in Castle Tower. That was the mirror, I believe. We got that pretty early. So still looking for the Ice Rod, the Ether Medallion, and a sword upgrade.
So we know, of course, that one of those sword upgrades is going to be in the Take Any cave. So we haven't seen that cave yet, though.
Yeah, I don't know if they're
sword
gonna... It seems like they've just kind of given up on checking for that cave.
Yeah.
At this point, I think they're just kind of gambling. There's going to be one in GT, probably. Or if they don't find one before then.
I think that's probably what their assumption is. It's just there's something in GT. If it's not in GT, it might be in Turtle Rock or Ice Palace. So
yeah, because I think like the vast majority of the overworld has been checked, if not everything. There's our Ether Medallion. Alright, so ShadyForce now has all of Turtle Rock open to him. And he gets a nice 300 rupees there. That'll come in handy.
And I would assume that that's where we might head next. Is the Turtle Rock. See if we find the Ice Rod hanging out somewhere there. But boy, if he does that and the Ice Rod is in shovel spot, if it's on Magic Bat, boy, that's a run killer right there. That's gonna be really brutal.
Yeah. So he may check those first before Turtle Rock. We'll see. We got a useless hint for Misery Mire that we've already checked.
Only the finest of hints here on A Link to the Past Randomizer.
Yeah, we went to Mire early on, and it had some pretty big value. We found both the Fire Rod and the boots in there.
Taylor's checking Hobo. Have we seen Hobo yet? I don't think we've seen Hobo. I don't recall that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We saw some plays up to Zora from SuperNinTaylor earlier in Waterfall Cave, but we did not see Hobo.
Just
only a big 20 though. Yeah. Oh, there's the sword.
Alright, so that means we're just down to the Ice Rod.
And now the TR play becomes a little bit more of a high value play, just heading up there to try and check for one item in all those chests.
Yeah.
I still feel like getting the powder and getting the powder in this order and getting the shovel makes me want to go check those two spots just before I go up the TR, just to eliminate the possibility that it's going to troll me.
So it looks like SuperNinTaylor is going to go check the shovel spot. ShadyForce makes quick work of Cold Stare.
The shovel swag.
We got a green rupee. So that's about the least amount of value you can possibly have there.
Thanks for that, Argus.
And SuperNinTaylor going to head into ice.
As Shady heads out of ice.
Yeah, so definitely it seems that Shady is got a bit of a lead right now.
Yeah, Shady's just gonna go full throttle into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and he's not going to bother checking the shovel spot.
Which is good. He's also not going to check the powder spot, which
might
work out for him.
Might, yeah.
It might not be as good, yeah.
Has either runner been to Zora yet?
I think SuperNinTaylor has been to Zora. I don't think he found anything.
Yeah, I don't remember if he actually like got the item from Zora himself though.
Oh, you mean this? Yeah, I'm not sure if he picked up the item either. Boy, that would be something.
Yeah.
Oh, Shady, you got to be on the thing to do it. There you go. He checked Zora Cliff. He didn't actually check Zora. Okay, so that's another possibility.
Yeah.
Boy, that could be bad.
Yeah, Zora has got to be probably the trolliest of spots in retro mode, since those 500 rupees are just so important.
Thanks, Shady. You're the hero of Hyrule. Well, he's Link.
He's invisible Link.
He's Link without Link.
Alright, what do we got in the roller room? Art piece?
And the big key.
So, can you think of any spots we have left outside of Turtle Rock? I guess there's just Zora, really.
Zora, yeah, Zora, Magic Bat. Gosh,
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we're kind of low.
Because I'm just trying to think of ways. I mean, Shadyforce, you know, it's definitely about one full dungeon ahead right now. I'm just trying to think if SuperNinTaylor really has any chances to catch up here.
Yeah. I would assume if SuperNinTaylor makes a play to check one of those locations that we haven't checked yet, and it turns out to have Ice Rod, Shady goes all the way to Laser Bridge, doesn't find Ice Rod in TR, and has to go back all the way through the dungeon. I think maybe.
Yeah, but
yeah,
he can also he can leave the portal there, so he doesn't necessarily have to go all the way back through Turtle Rock. But I think he's even like, I'm not sure exactly how far ahead he is, but even like if you have a tile gamble, oh, there's the Ice Rod.
There's the Ice Rod in the big key chest, so that's going to put Shadyforce in the go mode at 144.25. So there goes all of our discussion that we had for the last 2 minutes out the window.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rando.
And we got, of course, as usual, an Ice Rod in Turtle Rock.
Which, by the way, we're one item away now from having the full board. Just need to find the
Bombos medallion. Yeah.
Bombos, yeah.
So imagine Shadyforce might still open a few extra chests. Just ones that are kind of on the way, just hoping for a tempered sword. It's not going to open that one, though.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. Oh, he did the thing that all runners occasionally do, and place the block in the wrong spot so it doesn't make a platform, it just makes a block.
Yeah. And Shady, of course, in retro mode, as long as you have enough keys, you don't even have to check laser bridge. Just go
Right.
straight to Trinex.
I feel like the worst thing that could happen to Shady right now would be running out of keys in GT.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah, so you might have to flute away to go find some more keys.
Yeah, like the worst thing would be if you find a really early, really early key. I think we'll probably just see him check more chests if that's the case. We find the really early big key.
Yeah, there is a shop on East Dark Death Mountain, but there's no guarantee that it'll have keys.
I would assume there's probably keys in GT simply because it would have to be some ridiculous situation where there's exactly enough keys in the tower to open all of the remaining doors and be one short.
Yeah, we'll see. Shadyforce taking out Trinex. Oh, I guess that means we can play that game, can't we?
You can.
So there are 22 locations. Let's get the game started, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's 22 locations where the big key can be in Ganon's tower. Throw your guess in chat, 1 through 22. What are you thinking, Nihon?
I'm gonna throw 18 in there simply because it's possibly that would get us to what do I want to say here? Vanilla big key location.
Yeah.
I'll
guess number 10.
Number 10.
Nice round
Cool.
number.
I already saw Kinghorn in there throwing down 15 as Kinghorn always does. That's kind of the secret to their success.
NinTaylor is I was going to do the hula hand. Farm up some more rupees. So number 1, blue rupee. Number 2, bombs.
Very blue room here. Here comes 3, 4, 5, and 6 in just a moment as Shady gonna make his way through the torch room.
And NinTaylor gonna go check Zora, so he's basically gonna clear out the overworld before he heads to Turtle Rock.
Number 3, fire shield. Number 4, big key. Wow. Hey, you got Bombos. We got the full table.
Oh, there it is. That'll make Link Force, our tracker, happy.
He's got to go get another key though, so he's gonna make the dip to the left here. No, he's gonna go straight because there's another key up there.
Oh, I apologize to chat. I typed out the key too early. I forgot that we're a few seconds ahead. But anyway, Shadyforce is good on keys. He's good on money. He hasn't got too much to worry about, although he is still on that Master Sword. And he's really using a lot of money on those silver arrows. I'm not sure I'd be using that much money.
And it's got to keep 200 rupees in tow here because we're gonna need that for the Ganon fight. So and that's for a clean Ganon fight. If you miss an arrow, it's another 50 on top of that. So I would probably switch to regular arrows at this point, and maybe not even try to use the bow.
And congratulations to Excalibur, who was the closest sub or supporter. Guess number 3. No one had guess number 4.
Absolutely. So congrats, Excalibur, and congrats as well to Link Force getting to have the full board tonight.
Next, ShadyForce heading into the gauntlet. Half magic makes the gauntlet so much easier. You can just spam fire rod at everything.
Yeah, half magic, very much a bit of a time saver around here.
Ian Taylor, meanwhile, making his way into Turtle Rock. We'll finally get that ice rod soon.
It's a little magic, so we'll see him switch to sword spins now, I think.
Nice fight, though, but, yeah. Oh, not quite finished. Alright, there it goes.
And Shady very quickly making his way through the most satisfying room in the game, part 1 and 2. A little low on magic, but
He's got a
use that
potion.
lamp. This is also a small pot down here he's going to pick up. That'll help.
Yeah.
And Shady just blitzing through this.
Yeah. Grabs his last smoke. He's not even going to bother checking those last chests. He's happy with the Master Sword.
Picking up a couple of fairies there just for the refill. There's a key. And another full refill. And here's Moldorm again.
Yeah, you might say Moldorm number 2.
Moldorm 2. Moldorm's Revenge.
Well,
But very quickly doing the
didn't
job.
get his revenge this time.
And it's going to skip the final chest, much to chat's disapproval.
Yeah. Oh, it's on to Aga 2.
And let's see what kind of pattern Shady gets here with these Aga placements.
That's
Ooh,
a
very nice.
pattern. Oh, only gets one out of it though.
Yeah, he spun a little bit there, so that kind of slowed him down. Didn't get a chance to get that second one.
I think he got a triple there though.
Double.
Or no, there was a blue ball. I think it would have been
Yeah.
a triple without that blue ball.
I think so.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Yep. 1-2, 1-2.
Meanwhile, NinTaylor found the ice rod and is in go mode.
And we're about to meet our friend Genin.
Yep. So it's going to be a little bit of an annoying fight with just the Master Sword, but we do have those silvers. And he's even got some extra cash in case he misses a couple shots.
I forget. I think that's the standard one for retro mode. Is you get the grumble grumble message.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The only reason I think that's the case is because every time I've commentated a retro seed, I think I've seen that message. I may have to double check on that though before I can say for certain.
Nice position in the corner here. You can just get a whole bunch of spin attacks in.
This is the ideal positioning here. He's using the magic cape, but we wouldn't be able to tell either way.
Yeah. What they should do is make it so that Link appears when you have the cape on.
With that sprite, yeah, that'd be great.
And Ganon trolling us with a few warps. This is a torch glitch, but shouldn't matter with silvers. That's 2 shots. 3. And that should do it. Alright, get your GGs in chat for shadyforce. And shadyforce has won with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 38 seconds. Very well done.
Absolutely. And well, that just happened. Sure did. And Shady's going to take the overall series here between him and SuperNinTaylor 2-1. Doesn't really account for a whole much besides a little bit of personal pride, but hey, you always want to take a win when you can take one, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're going to get Shady in here in just a moment to talk a little bit about the race that he just ran.
Alright, SuperNinTaylor gonna grab that big key, and maybe, hopefully, he grabs his bombos as well. Make our tracker happy.
And I believe we have Shady in here with us. GG, Shady, congratulations on your win tonight.
Hi guys, thanks very much.
Absolutely, it was great watching you two race. Both very talented runners. Unfortunately, kind of a situation where it was mostly just for fun. But hey, at the same time, that always let you have a little bit more fun with the run too, knowing that regardless win or lose, you just get to have a fun run here.
Yeah, that's true. There's not much on stake on the run as it turned out, but it's just nice to get a couple of wins under my belt, really, in the tournament. I didn't really expect or necessarily want to progress further, but I'm just happy to get a couple of wins. So it was pretty good.
Indeed.
Yep. Have you had many retro seeds in this tournament?
Yeah. This is my 4th retro seed in the tournament, actually.
Ah. What do you think of retro? Because I don't think it hasn't been played a whole lot, really, before this tournament.
Yeah, I think there's some things that are quite interesting about it. I picked it twice as my pick against 2 opponents, and then it came up twice as the random matches against 2 different opponents. And I just think it's interesting mode, where the way you have to manage your money, you have to manage your keys. Yeah, it's just something a bit different. It's a different way to think about it. Go moding
For
some
sure.
dungeons is a bit different as well, which I like. You know, it's good fun going through Turtle Rock and not bothering with the pokies, for example.
Yeah, I see it as sort of like a mix between key sanity and like regular, because you still have the big key and the map and compass, but the small keys are just kind of random.
Yeah, I guess it plays like a little bit like a slightly easier key sanity.
Yeah, that is kind of true. One of the nice things too is that you can't get key locked out of a dungeon, so to speak, like you can in Key Sanity, where you might find 2 of the 3 keys you need to progress through Dungeon X, and the third one is going to be like 40 minutes from now. You can always go buy those extra keys and farm up rupees if you need the money for it. But it's always that risk you run into of just running out of keys for a dungeon and having to go out and try and go buy some and having to dip back in later. So that's kind of always something that's in play too.
Yeah, I guess like I think it's always a good idea to just farm a bunch of money to do the Houlihan room and things like that early on, and when you get a chance, buy lots of keys and make sure that you have keys before you go to the pod area, for example, because you know you're going to need lots there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had quite an early required pod. We didn't have any gloves or the hammer before we had to go to pod.
Yeah, it was a very stingy early game seed, wasn't it? We had to work hard to get our proper Dark World access.
Right.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I think the fact that it was all dungeons meant that you had to go to Agate anyway, so it wasn't a situation that it was inconvenient for you to go check Aga, knowing that there was going to be nothing there but Dark World access. In fact, the mirror was there, and that was super important for the run.
Yeah, and I actually got to do Aga as well as doing the front and back of Escape. I did them all in one, so that worked out fairly well. I think things like that worked out well for me in this seed.
Yeah, we were going to talk a little bit. I was actually going to ask a question about the routing. Were you prioritizing the dungeon completion over overworld checks? Because we noticed that you we had a couple of situations where we had items that were fetch quest items that would have led you to an overworld check like shovel or the powder showing up in Ice Palace, and you noticed you were skipping those. It was just, I guess it was just a situation where you thought it's better for me to go in to do the dungeons to complete them and hope that Ice Rod is within Turtle Rock somewhere, rather than making the gamble as not losing a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's interesting that you ask that, because after Skull Woods, of course, at this stage, I now have all of Ice Palace and Swamp open to me. But I didn't... I ended up doing some overworld checks, some of the boots lock locations and hammer pegs. And as I was doing them, I was sort of regretting my decision. I was thinking, I have 2 full crystal dungeons to clear. I should be clearing those. So after I finished up those anyway, I then went and cleared the dungeons. And now I'm feeling like, well, I know there's overworld spots left for me, but there's like 10 chests in Turtle Rock at this stage. There's a really good chance the Ice Rod is there. I just think it's the better play. So I regretted doing a little bit of the overworld I had done earlier. I feel like I should have gone straight to the Crystal Dungeons a little bit quicker. So that kind of influenced my later on game decision to go straight to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, well, I think SuperNinTaylor did even more of the overworld. He did all of the fetch quest spots and everything really before going to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing maybe the flipper lock locations, because that's a couple of things all together. I didn't have the money for Zora himself, though. There's no way I was going to farm money for Zora before going to Turtle Rock. But yeah, I think... I feel like it would have been a mistake to check random locations like the powder or the shovel. I just think the value is in Turtle Rock. So even though it's a gamble, but you got to take gambles. Like against people like SuperNinTaylor, you can't win by full clearing the seed. He's gonna beat me if I full clear the seed. I have to make the right decisions. So.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like that's the case. Yeah, I feel like that's the case with a lot of just in general. You have to make the right checks and making sure that especially in a tournament like this, there's a lot of very, very strong runners. Both people that are going on to the bracket stage and people that have been knocked out in this group stage. There's a lot of people. There's some very difficult groups that had 4, 5 I would say even the entire group is like a group of death, and it's just like, big notable names in the community that are all together in the same group, and only 2 of them get to move on. So, it's getting to this top 96 is absolutely an accomplishment in and of itself. It required a lot of skill, and you guys both really showed that today with what you were able to put together here.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said before, I'm happy I made it to the top 96. That was my goal before the tournament, and then I ended up in what I think is a really tough group. So to see people like SuperNinTaylor not even make it out of the group is crazy. To be honest, it's quite surprising.
Yeah, in fact, we do even have a group that's got a tiebreaker coming up here tomorrow between I'm the Schwartz and PRD Wong. That's going to be a game 4 between them, just to see who's the last person who's going to make it through to the bracket stages.
Yeah, that's going to be tomorrow at
1:30, I think.
1:30 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, so that's going to be all dungeons inverted, Uncle Assured, hard, with no variation.
That's going to be a heck of a seed.
That sounds like a fun mix. Meanwhile, we've got NinTaylor on his Ganon fight. Down to 4 hearts. I don't know if he has a potion or not, but he is on to phase 3, so shouldn't be too hard from here.
I think he's got it.
Yeah, it does have red mail as well, so as long as he doesn't make any major mistakes, it should be finished here soon.
I'm going to have to run off, guys, but I just want to say thanks so much for commenting, and the guys behind the scenes, the Restreamer and Tracker, and GG's to SuperNinTaylor.
Not a problem, Shady. Thank you so much for letting us restream your race here, and congratulations on the win, and thank you for stopping by to chat with us.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Yeah,
see
you later. GG. Alright, so NinTaylor down to 2 hearts. Hopefully.
Okay, he's got one spin there.
Yeah, he's on the final phase now. That's 2 arrows. Ooh, almost got hugged there.
Yeah, a little bit of a bad bounce there. Gonna wait for these torches probably to reset before.
He accidentally fires a silver arrow at the torch. Good thing he's got lots of extra cash.
Yeah, he should be good. He's just got one more spin. There you go. Should have this now.
Alright, let's get your GGs in chat for SuperNinTaylor.
And SuperNinTaylor gonna cross that bridge. We'll get a time here as well.
And that is an official SRL time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 42 seconds. So GG SuperNinTaylor. So we'll see if he wants to come in here for a little chat.
Sure thing. And of course, SuperNinTaylor will, I believe, finish 3rd in the group, even with this loss. So finishing, I think, a game ahead of Shady, if I remember my standings right. But really tough group here in Group K. Wrapping up. Gonna see, of course, Gem and Meekin's Box moving on from this group into the bracket stages.
And we got SuperNinTaylor with us. GG.
Hello, thank you.
Alright, so yeah, the tournament's over. How do you feel about it?
I mean, it was fun. If I'm not to continue on, I don't know, like. Yeah, so yeah, it was fun, but I don't think I quite lived up to my potential, but that's okay. There's always future tournaments.
Well, you had a really tough group, and this was definitely different from previous tournaments with all the different modes you had to play.
And I honestly haven't really put much practice into other kind of modes.
Yeah.
I've been fairly busy. Like, I don't even play rando aside from the tournaments lately.
Yeah.
So I just haven't really had time to practice random things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, with all these different modes, definitely tough with trying to, figure out the best strategies and all that.
Let's see what Shady's thing is. 160. Okay. Yeah, I was at 177.
Yeah,
I checked way too much.
Yeah, yeah, Shady didn't check a lot of those fetch quests, just went straight to Turtle Rock, and that paid off for him.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up being the right play in the end. I already checked so much overworld earlier in the game that I was at the point where I only had a couple overworld checks left before Turtle Rock. I felt like the Ice Rod was probably in Turtle Rock, but I would have felt silly if it was one of those last couple locations before Turtle Rock, so I just quickly checked those. Would have sucked to go all the way through and then have to leave and then go back again.
So, Mike N is saying in chat that Gem has dropped from the tournament, which puts you in the bracket.
Right, so that's what I was almost going to bring up earlier, but then I wasn't sure how sensitive of a topic that was, so I didn't say anything. But that's what I heard as well.
Yeah, we hadn't heard about. I hadn't heard about that yet. So, wow.
So I don't want to. I'm not going to officially confirm that because I don't know for sure, but that is what Mike Ann is saying in the chat.
Yep. And you were locked into. You were already locked into third place in that group, regardless of the outcome in this match, anyways. So
yeah, I'd be lying if I said I was taking this race super serious. I mean, I still tried, but I wasn't too concerned about the outcome of it.
Yeah.
Shady won that fair and square. He beat me. I tried to win, but but the fact I lost, it's fine. I didn't care if I won or lost.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun, and thanks for putting on this race and providing us with some entertainment.
Yeah, so it sounds like I will have a little bit of racing left in me this tournament. So.
Yeah, if that's true, that Gem dropped. So that's interesting.
Yeah, but the way it's set up is I'll be matched up against Kyong, who went 15-0 in the Swiss stage. So that's gonna be.
Congratulations, you made it in. Congratulations, your opponent's Kyong.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So, do you have any thoughts on this seed in particular? It seemed to be kind of, I would say, very linear for most of it. I mean, you guys did certain things in different orders, but for most part, you guys got to, when you guys did your first trip up to Death Mountain, I think you guys were pretty much screen for screen at that point. And about the only difference was that Shadyforce had completed Thieves Town, while you just did the first 4.
Mm-hmm. I was actually just about to ask about that, if he completed it right away. I was going to complete it.
Yeah, he did. He never went back for that big chest, which I think was just some rupees or something.
No, it was a map, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that specifically because I wanted it to be something.
Yeah, well...
I was going to full clear it, but then I found the nits, and I was like, I can easily just flute back here and use the nits to quickly get into Dark World. So I was hoping I could just grab the first 4, and then just leave there and hope to find the hammer and then go back and finish it.
Yeah.
Just in case the big chest did have something, but of course it had nothing, so I kind of just wasted a bit more time there. All my little decisions just kind of wasted me more and more time.
I find that's always a difficult decision with Thieves Town. Do you, when you go there without the hammer, it's like, do you do the back or not? It's always.
Well, my thinking is, if I have flute and nits and moon pearl, of course, I'm willing to do the first 4 and leave. If I have to go the long way around to get to the Dark World again, I'll probably just clear it.
Yeah, I think I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
Yeah. I wonder where else I lost time. No, I probably just never mind. Yeah, just all the overworld checks.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a few extra overworld checks. I'm trying to remember what else.
Oh, did he go to No, did he do left side swamp?
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys both did left side swamp.
Okay, because if we went to Ice Palace first and saw that hint about what was on left side swamp, we easily could have skipped that. But I'm guessing
Yeah,
we
that's
both
right,
went to
'cause you
swamp
guys-
before ice.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, when you guys basically had swamp or ice as your only options, I was like, they should go to ice, and then they both went to swamp.
How about those two
But,
hints for Meyer? Fire Rod is in Meyer, Boots are in Meyer.
Yeah, Meyer had the value.
I was like, yeah, maybe I should stop in Meyer.
Yeah, you guys both went to Meyer at the same time. You both did Meyer and Desert in opposite order, though. One of you did it Desert first.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did Desert first. That's where I got the hint for the Boots and Meyer.
Yeah. Well, our tracker Linkforce Zero is happy that you guys both filled up the board.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's every tracker's dream.
You get to click on all the buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got all the things.
I noticed after like the first maybe 20 minutes or so, none of you were really checking for those take any caves. And neither of you ever found the one with the sword. Was that kind of your plan, was to check some places early and not worry about it later? Or did you just...
I wasn't planning on checking any, really. I remember the bottom left bombable hut in Kakariko, I was doing that to farm bombs. I didn't even want it to be a take any. I was trying to farm bombs, and it was on stupid take any. I was like, oh, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
So I just took the heart, and then I had to spend my rupees to buy bombs.
Yeah, I think shadyforce checked a couple houses like around Kakariko, but he didn't put too much effort into it beyond that.
Yeah. The only one I actually checked, just because I was curious, was the Dark World fortune teller on the way from Thieves Town to Skullwoods.
Yeah. It was right in the way, I guess.
Yeah, I was walking through the bushes. I was like, might as well check it just in case. Maybe I'll get lucky and find a sword. Nope.
Well, so yeah, it's nice to make it into the bracket, maybe? Unconfirmed,
sounds
I guess,
like.
right now, but
Sounds like that's what's going on.
hopefully you're in.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna play a 4-way tiebreaker simultaneously. You guys will play 3 games at once, all against each other at the same time.
Oh dear.
Simultaneous games. That sounds a bit crazy.
We're always trying out new things here in the speed gaming family of networks.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure when did the bracket start. I think it's on the 9th, is it, or something?
I think
like
so.
that?
Yeah, we've got a bit of a break here in between when the bracket stage will start and when everything is wrapped up in this. So yesterday was kind of like the big day to wrap everything up. We do have that one tiebreaker. It's going to be tomorrow between PRD Wong and I am the Schwartz. So that will be it'll be the last match of this group stage, and that will also be for the last spot in the bracket stage.
Yep, that is going to be a very exciting match. I'm going to be tuning in. Yeah, so don't miss that. The winner gets to go to the brackets. The loser goes home. It's going to be huge. Yeah, do you have any final thoughts about the seed or the tournament, Taylor?
No final thoughts. I was actually thinking I should probably head out now because I have to head off for work in a couple of minutes here, but thanks for commentating and all that.
Yeah, thanks for running, and congrats on the win, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you in brackets.
Yep, congrats to Shady for winning the match.
Oh yeah, you didn't win.
No.
Sorry. But
so I'm gonna head out now, so I'll see you guys later.
all right.
Catch you later.
Yeah.
All right. So, did you have any final thoughts, Nihan?
Not at the moment, really. It's been a pretty good tournament throughout so far. I think I haven't really. There's been a lot of surprises, and there's been some very interesting finishes here. So
Yeah, there's been some really exciting races.
absolutely, we're gonna get some good ones coming up.
But yeah, first of all, tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, PRD Wong versus I Am the Schwartz. That is a tiebreaker. The winner of that match goes on to the brackets. It's going to be all dungeons inverted hard. So, yeah, tune in for that. I don't know which channel it's going to be on, but I assume it will be on one of the Speed Gaming channels. So make sure you follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6. And also ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 5 as well. Catch all the actions. So yeah, that race tomorrow is going to be the last race of the group stage, and then we're going to have the brackets. And I can't remember exactly what day they start, but it shouldn't be too long. And they'll be going on for a little while.
Absolutely. And of course, make sure to follow all of our wonderful runners today, ShadyForce and SuperNinTaylor, as well as LinkForce, who did the wonderful job of tracking everything and got to click all the buttons tonight. So be sure to give LinkForce a follow. And of course, my wonderful co-commentator, Edium, thank you so much. It was a pleasure working with you as always. And make sure to follow him as well.
Yeah, and my co-commentator was Nihon Tiger, so give him a follow. And I guess that's going to do it. So, yeah, have a good day or afternoon or evening or whatever it is for you.
Yes, indeed. And we will see you tomorrow for the last of the matches here.
Yep. So, see you later, everyone.
All right, guys. Remember, someone out there loves you, and we love you too.